And we're on Freedom Forum 1. And as you see, there is only one. My partner is not here tonight. Mr. Brett had surgery yesterday for a hernia. And he's out of commission, so I guess I got to carry the load tonight. And Mr. Brett is, well, he's not doing 100% right now. I talked to him a little while ago. So we'll just have to say prayers for him and he heals up quick. So I got a nice prayer. I'm going to get the prayer in tonight because I got a lot of details to cover. And believe me, there's plenty to talk about. Gee, I wonder if we'll talk about Orlando tonight, you think? Okay, let's bow our heads for a prayer. A prayer for America. Father in heaven, we, the people in the land of the free and the home of the brave, desperately need you. Oh, that we would leave our ways of seeking to be blessed and instead seek to bless others. We beg for your guidance and wisdom for our leaders. We ask you to protect our land from enemies, both within and without. And we praise you for the freedom we have through the blood of your Son. May your plan be the desire of our nation. Amen. Boy, that's a powerful speech or prayer that a friend of mine put on Facebook. Okay, let's get into announcements. The biggest announcement is, since Brett had his surgery yesterday, and he can't drive for 7 or 8 or 9 days, whatever, there will be no meeting at Elise's tomorrow night. And if you know anyone that comes, make sure you give them a holler. But no meeting at Elise's Pizza tomorrow night. Okay, next week, I will be out of town. And Tom will still be unable to drive. Tom, Brett. Well, I got that guy's on my mind. Brett will be unable to drive. So on the 22nd, they'll probably either rerun this show or the previous week's. Then there will be a show on June 29th. And hopefully the dynamic duo will be back together. Please. Okay. Then July 6th, there will be no show because AOC will be showing all the International Festival video for the whole week, which they do every year. And the next show after that will be on the 13th. And July the 13th. The next Patriots meeting is July 14th. Might want to mark that on your calendar. I have tried to, for the meeting in July, I put a text into Julie Emerson and John Paul Cousin. Unfortunately, John Paul will be leaving on vacation the 14th, so he can't come, and I'm still waiting on Julie's answer. What I want to do there is I want their first year representatives, and I want them to give us a take on what it was like and also how they voted. Interesting. Let's see, we got any other announcements? I don't think so, huh? Okay. Yes, I will be finally taking some time off to go enjoy myself. Let's start. Has anybody heard we're $600 million short in our budget? I'm sure you have. Here's the deal, though. What people don't know is that the budget from last year to this year is $2 billion more. And we're $600 million short this year. But last year we fully funded TOPS and the satellite hospitals. I find it very interesting. One of the things that was going on today, and I don't think it got finalized and taken to the floor, I looked up until the last minute before I left here, was the Ways and Means Committee looking at our personal the federal tax deductions. Now, people, I liked and I can't think of his name now, the Democrat who first stopped this bill from going to the floor with his vote, said 70% of the people don't own homes. And they don't get federal deductions. So here we are again, 30% of us footing the bill. Hartwell, you own a house, huh? Take tax deductions on your state taxes, or your house is paid for?
Paid for.
But you don't do the long form, you do the short form?
Federal income tax?
Yeah.
I'm self-employed, so I have to do the long form.
Well, a lot of that's gonna go away and see, what people don't know is they're going after the upper income. What it is they want to go from 100% that we get now of that deduction, which helps a senior like me on my taxes greatly. I got all of $42 back this year. I don't know where I'd spend all that. Couldn't even go out to eat with the wife. But, and so they want to take anyone that makes an taxable income above $103,000 and reduce it from 100% to 57%. Now they threw another fish in the pool. They said this was going to be a sunset thing. Do you know what a sunset thing is? Tom, you do, huh?
Yeah, sunset means only lasts for a certain period of time.
Yeah, they said till 2018.
Yeah.
I watched a little bit of the committee meeting today, and this guy, I know this guy, got up there and said, the sunset's every day. And I don't think the sunset will happen on that tax in 2018. And he made the comment that Edwards will still be in office. I wish I'd have been there. I'd have shook that guy's hand. But the advertiser did such a really nice job. I don't know what came out of the Ways and Means Committee on that deal today. Anyways, it's basically a tax on your church donations. And when it comes down to it, on your church donations, on health care, everything. Because what they're going to do is take away that deduction, so now you're being taxed on what your donations were. So basically, it's a tax on your church donations. Interesting. So we have to raise all this money. Do you know, I got a list right here. This was in the advertiser. And if all of you didn't take the time to get the advertiser to look through this, it is absolutely incredible, some of the stuff in here. This is House Bill 2 passes, dedicates $1.4 billion in cash lines from the state. They should have just wrote at the top, House Bill passes for good old boys taken care of. House Bill 2, which is being debated in the second special session of the Louisiana legislature, you're not going to believe this, passed the House Thursday 90-8 and dedicates $1.4 billion in cash lines of state money to public construction sites throughout the state. Now, I understand there's things that have to be done, okay? But in my eyes, there is priorities. Let's look at one, South Louisiana Development Council. The SLEC, Nichols Field and Drainage, $3,000. Now that's not bad. Then you have the Cajun Dome renovations, $21,000. That's not too bad. Then you have Lafayette Central Park Incorporated. Lafayette Central Park improvements, $2 million. Could someone tell me what the Lafayette Central Park is? That's not the horse farm, is it?
I believe it is.
If someone knows if Lafayette Central Park is the horse farm, please give me a call. Unbelievable. Then we have North Lafayette Redevelopment Authority. This is one of my favorite ones. These are in this House Bill too, the budget. Acquisition of blighted and abandoned properties for resale, $500,000. Let's see. Terrebonne Parish Recreation Districts 2 and 3, Sports Complex Construction, $3.9 million. They want to raise our taxes. And, you know, I understand these are priorities. We got to have them sports places. You know, I think the NFL is going to take a hit too. What do you think, Tom? In 2017, they will not sing the national anthem before the football games. Put out by the NFL office. Guess I'm going to have to look for something else on Sunday afternoons to watch.
They wouldn't pay them? Is that it?
Huh?
They weren't going to pay them to do it?
No, they're not going to sing. They're not going to allow them to sing the national anthem before the game because it offends somebody.
Well, all these celebrations of the military during the NFL and college football were being paid for by the government.
Mm-hmm.
So I figured they were paying them to sing the national anthem.
No. It's amazing. Iberia Economic Development Authority, Progress Point Business Park and Airport Gateway, $2.3 million. What else we got in here? St. Mary Parish, the Sheraton Canal Industrial Park, $1.5 million. St. Landry Parish, Henry Gilbo Road Economic District, $186,000. Iberia Parish, Robert V. Green Veterans Memorial Renovation, $200,000. Recreational Complex, $243,000. And I mean, when you read through this thing, if you took a calculator, a new pavilion in Breaux Bridge at the Carl Williams Memorial Park, $25,000. Broussard, 3-lane LA 182, $240,000. I mean, honestly, but the one that gets me is the $500,000 to buy the blighted homes to resell. Now, my question is, if they get the $500,000 to buy those homes, and the Economic Development Association, the North Lafayette, and they get money for selling those, do they turn the money back to the state? What do you think?
No.
I doubt it. Where does that money go? What else we got? Youngsville infrastructure improvements for the Youngsville Sports Complex. $971,200. What? Tom, you said they just built that?
Yeah, within the last couple of years, they passed a 1-cent sales tax in Youngsville to pay for it.
They passed a 1-cent sales tax in Youngsville to pay for the sports complex?
Right.
And now we're giving them almost $1 million for what? I was just by there. It looked pretty good to me. And the parking lot was paved really nice. And the road to the field looked like it was brand new.
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Bill Platt, Evangeline Recreational Park, $1.5 million. You see, I read all this stuff, and you know, I don't want to belittle or take away anything, but here's the deal. Who oversees that this money actually gets spent for what it's given? How much of this money falls into the wrong pockets? We have no checks and balance. There is no checks and balance on this stuff. Anyways, I will be interested to see what happens with the Ways and Means Committee and that bill about the personal tax. I talked to a couple of representatives on that, and they said that some of the representatives are scared. Well, it didn't look like they were scared when they voted 90 to 8. There's something wrong with that statement. Although the individual I talked to on that actually voted against that. So let's see what our man on the street says here. Well, Theron, thank you, Theron. Lafayette Central Park is the horse farm, also known as the park. So, no, where's my list? Thanks, guys. So what did they say when they put that thing together? That no taxpayer money would come to improve that park? And how much did they get? Where's it at? Lafayette Central. $2 million for improvements from the state. Wow.
Yeah, but it was the city that said no city tax money was gonna go. Did it say state?
We know how that works, huh?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. I thought that was being run by a private, non-profit organization. Oh well. Doesn't surprise me. Okay, let's see what Brock said. The independent non-profit, our reporter in the street puts it a little differently. The independent non-profit Lafayette Central Park was created following the purchase of the property by the city of Lafayette to turn the 100-acre horse farm property into a world-class public park. Thank you, Brock. Now they can do it. They got $2 million. My question is, who oversees this? Anybody know? I mean, you hand them a check for $2 million. Who holds the accountability for that? This is the problem.
Well, at one point, Joey Durrell was given a high position on that.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's still involved with
No,
that.
no. What happened was certain individuals and someone we know really made a fuss about that, and he supposedly, quote unquote, supposedly stepped down. But there's no verification of that. But the biggest question I have is, where is the accountability for all this? Where is the accountability? Who makes sure this money is spent for what it's given? That's the problem today. Whose pockets get filled with that money? Oh, Jim, you're a radical. You know that hurt? Well, I'm a radical. You know, at GE, when I worked for GE, I was held accountable for what I did on jobs. And if a customer complained, I had to be accountable to my boss that either the customer was right or I goofed. In federal government, there is no accountability.
None at all.
There's none. I mean, absolutely none. And I mean, some of this stuff, we got a video. We're going to run that video now. And then we're going to get into this Orlando thing. You ready?
Yeah, you ready?
Huh?
Not
You
yet.
ready to go?
Yeah, let's run it. We're going to run a video. This video, preface it, was the video where the guy got cut off when he was given some information that they didn't want to get out on the Orlando shootings. Oh, it Jim.
Wow.
Well, then there was a guy there that was trying to prevent the door, like hold the door closed so that we didn't exit, and he would.
Janelle? Wow.
Out of nowhere, all you hear is like, brrr, brrr. I was like, this has to be some type of either hate crime or I have no idea what it is. And then I put two and two together and I was like, this guy's trying to prevent us from leaving the club. Maybe they're working together. So right then, me and my buddy, we start pushing the fence. There was like a fence there. I also started pushing it. And we were trying to just get through and I ended up being able to hop over the fence.
So we blocked this door and we did hear banging. And I pray it wasn't anyone trying to escape because I would forever feel guilty.
In this little compilation, we have a professional actor named Louis Bourbano admitting that he was blocking the door as people were pounding trying to flee the massacre. Then we heard from Janiel Gonzalez, who tried to explain the exact situation live on air when he got cut off. They attempted to omit that information from the public record, ladies and gentlemen, but we now know who Janiel was referring to during this interview. Louis Bourbano. That's huge, ladies and gentlemen. And you got to hear the end of that story. The part that they tried to censor out. Janiel Gonzalez felt that Louis Bourbano's behavior was suspicious, and he decided to flee the scene before getting ambushed, because there ain't no holding the door when bullets come crashing through.
29-year-old Omar Mateen was well known to the FBI counterterrorism squad. He was interviewed by FBI agents 3 times over the last 3 years, after he allegedly told co-workers he had ties to known terrorists.
We determined that contact was minimal and did not constitute a substantive relationship or a threat at that time.
It turns out that the perp in this case, Omar Mateen, was a regular at the FBI according to official sources. And anytime we see terrorists connected to a government agency, that raises all sorts of red flags. We need to consider the agenda here. Who benefits? Who is being served by this attack? We would be right as critical thinkers to consider this a false flag attack. That doesn't mean the attack was fake. The bullets were real. The victims were real. But the motives were faked. This was a Gladio B operation on American soil. And this attack not only advances the gun grab agenda, it advances the homosexual agenda as well. The militant atheist agenda. Everyone will be hanging rainbow flags from their homes, demanding gun control. And that's the who benefits from this situation. The police state benefits. Militant atheists benefit. The occultists that celebrate the pyramid on the dollar bill benefit. And it gets worse. The mainstream media reports that Omar Mateen made mention of the Sarnov brothers during his 911 call. 911 like 9/11. But the Sarnov brothers are related to the Boston bombing case. And yet everyone knows Boston was a false flag, for the simple reason that the Boston Globe tweeted out the exact location of the attack 1 hour before the bombs went off.
And please, could we do something with the assault weapons?
Oh, fake.
So that we could stop this club from ever getting any new members?
Hi, I'd like to be on Wheel of Fortune. I think I'd be a great contestant because I'm a lot of fun. And other people would enjoy watching me.
You got your big breaks. You didn't make Wheel of Fortune.
This crisis actor was rather unconvincing as well, and she reminds us of another nefarious crisis actor from the Boston bombings. These witnesses that we're seeing here aren't on TV because they were at the scene. They're on TV because they've been federally approved to control the narrative.
Definitely this lady is in the businesses of false flag events and inside jobs. There are no doubts about that. The only question now is, who is she? So whenever you spot her, wherever you see her, you better get the f*** out. Because a false flag event is either happening or already happened, and you could be the next patsy taking the fall.
Not only that, we've been able to attain screenshots for a casting call for actors just a few days prior to this event going down. We covered this yesterday during our live broadcast, as well as the unexplained killing of Christina Grimmie in Orlando just 2 days prior, which was another gun grab event. Was it something she said? It turns out Miss Grimmie was a strong Christian advocate, and it may be for that very reason that she was silenced for her religious beliefs. Remember that we live in occupied territory. We are slaves in an occult technocratic tyranny, and every false flag that occurs is really about calling good evil and evil good. It's about promoting a dark sadistic agenda at the expense of people of faith. Be sure to tune in to our various social media outlets for more on this and other top stories. This is Ron Johnson from Stranger Than Fiction News, and if you're listening to this, you are the resistance.
That's it?
Yeah.
Am I back on?
Not yet, let's see.
That's a pretty hardware. It's a pretty powerful film. It falls. Am I on? Yeah. Pretty powerful film. I mean, it goes into a lot of what you saw there. I can't make this stuff up. That actor was in 3 or 4 different places. I mean, people, you got to think about this. I said it, I'm saying it almost every week. There was a time when I was really ignorant to what my government really does. And by the way, that flag, we would like to flip that flag around. We would love to flip that flag around. And for you, those of you who don't know what that means, is that flag in the status it's at right now means we're in distress. We are in distress. When you see things pulled out by good news teams that show you actors, actual actors that were on there boo-hooing and all that stuff about what was going on and are paid to do that. Who are they paid by? Who paid them? It certainly wasn't the Pulse, or it wasn't the people that were at the marathon. There's only one person that did that payment, federal government. And I know I'm going to hear it, being a radical and doing all that crap. Let's see, I got so much stuff here. I mean, it's like, you know, here are some good statements. A mentally ill white guy shoots black church and kills 9 people. All white people are blamed. A flag is banned and a TV show is canceled. A moderate Muslim walks into a gay bar, kills more than 50 people in the name of ISIS, and the gun is blamed, and Islam is defended. You know what? Somebody gave me an example. He said, look, we'll take a Muslim and we'll put him in a bar, okay? And in the next bar, we'll take a gun. Go ahead, caller.
Yes. I just missed the end of that video y'all just played.
Yeah.
I'm curious, where can that be rewatched at?
Oh, I got that off of YouTube, and it's called Mega something. But yeah, it's a pretty interesting video, and the fact that it shows you all the actors and people that are involved, and it's pretty deep.
They had cited as shooting at the marathon, these actors. Is that what you're saying?
Say that again?
These actors are at the site of the Pulse and at
Yes.
Boston bombing?
Yes. Yep. Like they said on there, the newspaper in Boston gave the GPS locations of the bombs an hour before they went off. How about that? How'd that happen?
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, I just stated it on here. I used to be one of these red, white, and blue guys that said my government never did anything wrong. Now it scares the heck out of me of what I learned.
Tell me this. Do you know when y'all show, because sometimes I catch y'all show at a different time, but I don't ever know when it is.
The live show is always on Wednesday nights from 8 to 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I know that.
They will
when does
replay.
it re-air?
Huh?
It re-airs sometime. Do you know when?
No, we never know when. That's a wild guess.
Oh, okay.
And
And the reason why I was asking, because I'd like to see that thing that I just missed on there, but I'll try to catch it.
I don't remember the name of it.
It says Mega False Flag.
Huh?
Mega False Flag.
It's called Mega False Flag. If you go on the computer and Google YouTube and Mega False Flag.
Mega False Flag.
Yeah, Mega, M-E-G-E-G-A, M-E-G-A, False Flag.
That's on YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay, I will check that out. Thank you so much, sir.
All right, thanks for calling, buddy.
Up there.
All right, bye-bye. You see, that stuff we can... Uh-oh. Go ahead, caller.
Hey, all you got to do is tell him when he was asking about the replay. All you have to do is tell him to go to AOC's website. It'll tell you exactly when the program's, the second showing during the week.
Oh, really?
It'll tell you exactly on the internet. AOC's internet, the website for AOC. You just tell them, go to AOC's website, and it'll tell you when the next program, the replay, the repeat program, it'll tell you on AOC's website. That's all you got to tell them.
Know that.
They can go check it out, and they'll be able to see when it plays again. How you like that, huh?
All right, that's awesome. I appreciate that info.
All right, have a great one.
You too. Bye-bye. Okay. There's so much. I mean, we sit back and we watch the President of the United States. Right away, it's the gun grab. It's the gun grab, and the gun did it. I don't know of a gun that ever killed anybody. Do you? Huh? You know of a gun that killed anybody?
I know a baseball bat did once. It jumped up and hit somebody by itself.
But the example I was going to give is the guy, we were talking about this, and he said, look, let's put a Muslim in one bar, and in the bar next to it put a gun. And he said, who do you think is going to kill somebody, has a better chance of killing somebody? You find the answer to that one. I still like the guy that said he put his shotgun and a box of shells on there, and he came back later and his shotgun never killed nobody. Go ahead, Herder.
Hey, I don't know if you heard this today. I was listening to Rush Limbaugh while I was trying to choke down my dinner. The Democrats were filibustering in Washington, D.C. for more gun control.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they shut down everything. All the discussions, everything.
Nobody's saying that nightclubs and all that, from when I took my concealed carry classes, you're not supposed to bring in a weapon where alcohol is being served. You can't carry your weapon in there.
Yeah.
That's a gun-free zone. That is just like a liberal hunting preserve.
That's about right. That's the best way to put it. I mean, it's amazing, John. It is amazing. The gun. Why is it that every time
people, trying to get them to come to the meetings and all that, and they look at me, I'm gonna have to go make me another tinfoil hat.
The shooter was a registered Democrat.
Yeah, the shooter was a registered Democrat, by the way.
He was subcontractor Homeland Tyranny.
Huh?
He was working as a subcontractor for Homeland Security.
Yep. And guess what his job was?
Like we say, Homeland Tyranny.
Do you know what his job was?
He was a guard.
Yeah, no, he was helping with illegal aliens.
Oh, I got another one for you that I heard today on the radio. They got a 25-year-old Syrian that just became an American citizen. So she's an American now, or it's an American. They got but a name I can't tell. But she's an advisor to Homeland Security.
Oh.
How can you just come into the country, just become a citizen, and now you got a job with Homeland Security as an advisor?
I got an answer to that. Just look at
They're all Muslims up there in Washington.
Look what we got for a president.
They're all Muslims.
And look who's controlling them. That president is a puppet.
Oh yeah, what's her name is the one that's wearing the high heels and the pants over there?
Valerie Jarrett.
Yeah, the Iranian.
Yeah, and then of course you have Abu. How do you say her name? Abedin or something.
Ahmadinejad. That's a selfie congressman. That's no longer a congressman or whatever.
No, there's Clinton's advisor. How comes all the advisors are Iranians? Do you ever think about that?
Or Syrians or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could use a job.
And I'd like to
could
go.
advise them on
You think I have a chance of getting a job? At the White House?
Yeah, well, I just been cutting grass all day long. I'm just trying to cool off right now. It's hard. But this false flag stuff and all that.
You got to see the video?
Yeah, I've been having trouble getting on this site, but because I'm a computer Neanderthal.
Well, if you got on, you got on.
I'm gonna have to get back to your stuff. I know you
I'm gonna have to show that video at a meeting. What do you think I should?
Buster and what we got? Yeah, with that Johnson, the Homeland Security guy, the head of Homeland Security or Homeland Defense or whatever.
Yeah.
He's more worried about the Tea Partiers than the Muslims.
Oh God, am I in trouble?
Yes, we all are.
All right, buddy. Thanks for calling.
I'll catch y'all later.
All right. Bye-bye.
Keep up the good work and God bless.
Thank you. See, people understand. I talked with Brett a couple of days ago. We were talking about why do we understand what's going on? Why the other people don't understand? It hadn't slapped them in the face yet.
They don't want to see the truth.
You sit and you watch, and we're going to talk more about this because there is more. And oh, by the way, Facebook did something to me this week. I put a post on there comparing things about the Confederate flag and something else that had to do with the president. And I went to check it out because somebody went there and they took it down, took it off, cleaned it out. And I went, oh man. But you look, Brett and I, and we talk all the time, and Tom and I too, talk all the time about the fact that people they better wake up. I mean, if they think this thing in Florida was it, they said they got a list of 600 names from ISIS of a hit list. And cities, they said they're going to hit Orlando again. Look, was it somewhere in Texas? A Muslim went into a Walmart and had 6 hostages. I mean, it's on, baby. It's on. This is only the tip of the iceberg. What were we talking about earlier? They said this was the largest mass shooting. That was the Davidian, the ranch. What was that called?
Branch Davidian.
Huh?
Branch Davidian.
The Branch Davidian.
Branch.
That was a bigger massacre than this. You know
Over
what?
70 people.
I wonder how many?
Over 70.
Over 70. How many?
There was over 100 in the original Wounded Knee massacre by the government.
Yeah, they brought that up on one of the articles I read. They said about the Wounded Knee massacre was over 100. But you know what? One of the things that really burned me was, look, there's 50 families. No matter, and I'm going to say this: everybody's a human being and made choices in their lives, but nobody deserves to die this way.
Right.
I don't care what your, gender thing is or whatever your deal is. Nobody deserves. But not one of these stinking people that I saw ever said anything about the families. There's people right here in Lafayette lost a brother. And they showed, now I'll say this, the community showed the other night and came out and supported it. But not these idiots, not the president, not the vice president, some of these idiots in Congress, none of them said one thing about the families. No matter who shot them or did what, the people, the families deserve more than they got. They actually said the death total was 49. I don't know why that number changed, but anyways. And then there's 53 in the hospital. Let me see if I can find, I got so much stuff here. Find the stuff. This lady here, this was an interesting, this lady, Tammy Bruce. She said, if the FBI and Homeland Security interviewed Omar Mateen and they knew about him and still let him go, then how are we supposed to believe that Syrian migrants are going to be vetted and Americans will be safe? Dang good question. You know that? We've been saying that all along. There's no way. Here's another wonderful statement by our delusional butthead in the White House. Can I say that? Oh, well, I just did. I think, this is really how these people think. Obama warns terrorists would win if Donald Trump became president. Are you kidding me? What about you, Mr. President? You think they're not winning? They won. Barack Obama issued during a dramatic speech this afternoon condemning Trump's tough anti-terror proposals after terrorists attacked a gay nightclub in Orlando, Florida, and killed dozens of people. Obama raised the alarm for voters, accusing Trump of making proposals that depart from the constitutional, this gets even better, from the constitutional values of America and the values of American citizens. Mr. President, this guy was a radical Islamist. Oh, you're not supposed to say that. You know who said that? I think this is an interesting story. Trump came out and said the president should step down, that him and Hillary should step down because they won't call him radical Islamists. So what does Hillary do? She comes out during a speech and calls him radical Islamist. She comes out and says that and nails and goes after Trump for saying that she doesn't take care of business. Well, lady, in my constitutional brain, I said, after the fact don't count. The president went on to say, if we ever abandon those values, we would not only make it a lot easier for radicalized people here and around the world, but we would have betrayed the very things we are trying to protect. Obama said, citing American pluralism, civil liberties, and openness, then terrorists would have won, and we cannot let that happen. I will not let that happen. Should I repeat that last statement? The president said, I will not let that happen. Obama was visibly angry at Trump during his speech, trying to paint a picture of what America under Donald Trump's leadership would look like. And it goes on and on and on. I mean, I'm not even halfway through the pile. We were talking here a while ago. Now this guy was under investigation, okay, since 2013. What do you think? Since 2013. Now I have somewhere in here in this mess, some of the things I have just get better and better. The second hour we'll cover some of this stuff, but how much time we got? 10 minutes. Orlando terrorists worked at a security company hired by DHS. What's DHS? The Department of Homeland Security. This is what his job was. This is a joke. To transport and release illegal aliens. Under investigation by the FBI. The ISIS terrorists who committed the worst mass shooting, which isn't true, in U.S. history, worked for a security company contracted by DHS to protect federal facilities nationwide and transport illegal immigrants apprehended in the southern border region. Earlier this month, Judicial Watch launched an investigation into the Florida-based security firm G4S after breaking a story about illegal immigrants being quietly transported from the Mexican border to Phoenix. Oh God. And getting released without proper processing or court appearance documents. Interesting. We got a guy under investigation and he's transporting illegal immigrants.
One of the interesting things about that guy was he said he was in with ISIS, but he also told people he was connected to Hezbollah. Well, Hezbollah and ISIS are opposing forces. One Shia and one Sunni. They don't get along. How can he be part of both?
Yeah, you can't. No way.
No.
That's, but I mean, there's also an article on the mosque that he went to, and we might get into that. Oh, mercy. The way I got the yawns. G4S was contracted by DHS to drive the group of illegal aliens classified as other than Mexican from the Border Patrol's Tucson sector, where they were in custody, to a Phoenix bus station where they went their separate way. The OTMs were from Honduras, Colombia, El Salvador, Guatemala, and Border Patrol officials told Judicial Watch they were in custody for a couple of days in order to call family members in the U.S. so they could purchase a bus ticket. A bus ticket to where? Authorities didn't bother checking the identity of U.S. relatives and if they were in the country legally, according to the Border Patrol. It just gets better and better. The investigation will expand to include documents, information pertinent to Omar Mir Sadiq Mateen, an Afghan American with 2 firearms license and a security officer license. He was working as a security officer. Early Sunday morning, the veteran G4S security guard carried out the savage attack in the Orlando night, killing 49 and injuring dozens of others. A multitude of media reports have confirmed that Mateen worked for G4S for nearly a decade, even though he had been investigated by the FBI for terrorist ties. In one Florida newspaper report, the security company confirms that Mateen had been a security guard with firearms license September 10, 2007. A former co-worker told Florida media outlet that Mateen regularly made threats of violence and that he was angry, loud, profane man who used slurs for gay people, blacks, Jews, and women. In 2013, Mateen was investigated by the FBI terrorism ties and his connections to the American named Monar Mohammed Abdul Salah, who carried out suicide bombing in Syria. Both men are from Fort Pierce area in Florida, so-called Treasure Coast. The federal probe didn't seem to impact Mateen's work at G4S, however, because they're astounding considering the agency created after 9/11 to prevent other terrorist attacks. Has a $234 million contract with G4S to provide security services for a number of federal agencies, including nuclear facilities. This gets better as it goes. Nuclear facilities in the Departments of Labor, Justice, Energy, State, as well as Internal Revenue Service and Drug Enforcement Administration. Ironically, the government's contract with G4S stipulates that the company helps identify, are you ready for this? Suspected terrorists trying to enter the U.S. and help the feds with emergency responses to terror threats. Sign up for updates. Wow. You don't know. I'm telling you, keep your eyes open. One thing we haven't talked about is Mateen's dad. I gotta find that. Mateen's dad ran for Afghanistan president. Amongst other things, has his own anti-American TV show or radio show, I'm not sure which. He had, what else? I read other stuff. I mean, he's...
With the Taliban.
Yeah, Taliban. But I must have left it at home. So we're talking about 3 minutes. Yeah, must have left it on the desk at home. I think in the last 3 minutes, I'm going to give you a history lesson. What do you? This is a quick history lesson. It says the 13th Amendment abolished slavery. 100% of Republicans voted for that. 23% Democrats voted for it. The 14th Amendment gave slaves citizenship. 94% Republicans voted for it, 0% Democrats. The 15th Amendment, the right to vote for all men, 100% Republicans, 0% Democrats. Okay? And then the fourth one. This is the most interesting one. It's not an amendment. It's called Obamacare. 0% Republicans voted for it. 86% of the Democrats voted for it. How interesting. That's your little history lesson for the night. Afterwards, we're going to talk about, I'm going to read this. I'm still going to talk more about the thing. What do we got, about a minute or two?
Minute 40.
Minute 40. Let me read you this. I sat in on a committee meeting about CAIR, C-A-I-R, the Council on American Islamic Relations, where half of the people in the committee didn't even know who they were. And they said, one of the people in there said they're not a terrorist organization with the federal government. Well, listen to this. Islam isn't in America to be equal to any other faith, but to become dominant. The Quran should be the highest authority in America, and Islam the only accepted religion on earth. Who said this? Omar Hamid, chairman of the board of CARE, Council on American Islamic Relations. This is radical Islam's Trojan horse in America. Da-da-da. So the first hour is coming to an end, but we still have more to talk about as far as, you know, I wasn't the only one that got things deleted. We have some craziness. Wait till I tell you about what they're doing in New Orleans with the property owners. In this world, nothing is a surprise. Oh, my reporters have reported in. I just don't pay attention enough. But anyways, we'll be back for the second hour and go through some of this stuff. And I'll see what my reporters in the field have given me.